right, we're here at halftime with Dutch Morley. Can you hear me there, Dutch?
I can hear you now.
Well, you got to put this thing on here. Oh, you got it on backwards there. Please don't tell anybody you went to DeMatha. Yeah. All right, camera's over there.
It's been a long time.
Were you never
Neil.
on TV up there? All right, but we're here with Dutch Morley, class of 1978. We'll talk about his ties to DeMatha and some of the history there. But first of all, not a great first half, but what did you think about the first half?
You know, they just don't seem to have that energy and the passion. They get a lead and they give up some shots and then they miss a few shots. It just, I don't know. It's just they just don't seem to have it right now. But it gets like that sometimes, you know.
You're in the middle of the year,
right.
And certainly all the teams, they travel a lot, they do whatever, and you're kind of in the middle before, it's like springtime before you get to the end of the school year. You're not quite there yet. As we get closer to the playoffs, hopefully they'll get that energy back and start to play. But certainly they're kind of missing that. And I know they've had some sickness on the team. Hunter just got back. Justin Moore, who many feel is our best player or one of our most effective players, he's out. Guys are in different roles in that plays. And the other thing is, Ireton has a coach too. He's doing a good job. He's shortening the game, sitting back in the zone. They're spreading the floor because of our size. We got some tough matchups. What are you going to do? Yeah. But that's why it's a good league. You don't show up.
It's definitely a good league from top to bottom.
All right, so let's go back in time. A couple hundred years ago, where'd you go to grade school?
A couple hundred years ago.
All right, I'm rounding off.
I went to St. Jerome's, which is about 2 miles down the road from
Just
here.
down the street, a lot of our guys there.
2
So
miles.
7th grade, 8th grade, you're thinking about high school. Was it always DeMatha?
It was, but it was just because of where we lived. I mean, I grew up on Queens Chapel Road, which again is about 6 or 7 miles from here.
Right.
Went to St. Jerome's. My brother went here. So I was pretty much coming here regardless of what basketball or anything to do with basketball.
Now, when you were in grade school, did you go to MABS? Did you go to any Morgan's camps or anything?
I went 1 year, my 7th grade year. Kenny Carr was my coach. And we won the 2-week league, whatever it was back then. And that was the only year I went, though. I went one time.
Do you still have your report card?
I probably don't. I could probably tell you what it said, but I don't have it.
So you come in, you're a freshman. So you're on the freshman team. You look up the guys on the varsity. What was the backcourt like on the varsity when you were a freshman?
When I was a freshman, Pete Strickland was a point guard. Tony Ellis was a guard. DeVito, well, when I was a freshman, Paul kind of played with us. They were a tough team. We used to watch them. Billy Ruback played. It was a lot of fun, to be perfectly honest.
So as a point guard, you wanted to become the next Pete Strickland. Is that basically it?
I don't want to give Pete all that credit. I know Pete very well.
Well, that's the way he would tell the story.
I'm sure he would, and he has. And just
so
like everybody after
you come in as a freshman. You play in the freshman team. Who was your coach?
Jack Bruin, the great Jack Bruin.
What a guy.
What a guy.
Left us too soon.
Was a great coach. Even when he left here, I used to go down and watch Catholic U, watch him play. Even watch him, saw him coach at Colgate. They came in to play Navy. Jack was one of the best teachers, one of the best coaches, one of the best guys. I'll never forget Jack.
I got to know him. He was at Catholic for a while, and then Colgate. I got to know him at summer camp and go up there, and he was the king of the mount up there.
Right.
Yeah, he was quite a guy. So you play freshman, and then JV year, your coach is?
Coach was Marty Fletcher, my JV year.
Right. So he went on to coach in college. He actually was assistant at Niagara when Ruback went up there.
Right. I think we drove Marty out. I think my sophomore year was his last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Then you make the varsity junior and senior year. Your senior year, how'd the team do?
We did fairly well. We were 27-0 and won the mythical or hypothetical national championship. Right.
And who were some of the guys you played with?
Joe Washington, myself, DeVito, Chris Gilday, Tommy Branch. And then we had the second team, which was a pretty good strength of ours. We had 10 guys deep. We had Sid Lowe and Wittenberg and Percy White
and of course Sidney Lowe and Derek Wittenberg. They go on their claim to fame, playing at NC State from Havana. Derek shoots the most famous air ball in history.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Charles knocks it in. Sidney's still coaching with the Wizards.
He is.
Derek, I don't know if he's still attached to NC State, but he's doing some other stuff. He helped produce the film that Morgan Wooten was in.
He did, yes. He had a lot to do with that, I believe.
Yeah.
I think he met the gentleman on a plane.
Right.
And
if anybody can talk him into it, he's going to be Derek.
That's right, Derek.
Okay, so you go through here. First of all, how about school? Are any of the teachers that taught you still in the building now that your son is here?
I believe Joe Carroll's still here, who
Right.
was my junior homeroom teacher and English teacher.
What about T? Did you have T?
I didn't have Mr. Shafeli, no,
Okay.
but he was here certainly. Of course, Father Damien was here. Father James was here.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any other teachers that were
That's
here.
probably about it, because then the Netchbacks came in like the early 80s, like that. But it is kind of amazing. Like, I've even got some kids now that have come in who hired their fathers years ago.
Right.
You know, Buck used to say, when the grandkids start showing up, I'm out of here. You know? So,
Yeah.
all right, so senior year, a good year. You end up going up the street to Maryland. You just don't like to travel too far, do you?
They can't get me out of Hyattsville, Neil. I don't know what it is about the place, but I grew
So-
up here and I haven't left yet.
So was just Maryland always it? You drew up Greenman to play there, or who came in second? What were your other thoughts?
I took my 6 visits and had a lot of offers from various people. I visited NC State with Norm Sloan. I visited down the University of Florida to go to Florida. Visited Davidson University. I visited Old Dominion, and I was going to go to Oregon, but decided that was too far to go. There was a gentleman there named Dick Harder that was the coach.
Sure.
He was at Penn State, and then he moved to Oregon, and him and his staff had talked to me, and just for some reason Oregon had intrigued me there for a while, but never made it out there.
So you play for Morgan here, right? And Morgan has a certain style, obviously Hall of Fame coach.
Right.
Then you go up the street and your coach up there was who?
Lefty Drizel.
A little bit different style?
A little bit different style, but the same intensity, the same purpose. You know, Lefty, he wanted to win, and he was there to help and do whatever he had to do. And it was,
you had a great career up there. I looked it up, and you did what a lot of guys don't do now, because I actually looked it up today. You started a little bit as a freshman, probably started about 7 or 8 games, and then gradually where you were a full-time starter as a senior.
Right.
But, you know, kind of that your career got better each time, as opposed to now it seems like you mean you're playing or you're transferring.
Right.
There isn't that. Very rarely do you go work your way up the totem pole as you're playing.
No, I played quite a bit as a freshman and all through the career. Let me tell you one thing about the Lefty and Morgan comparison. My first ACC game was against NC State and Hawkeye Whitney. The final score with no shot clock and no three-point line, which was about our 8th game as my freshman year, was 124 to 110. So I was kind of in awe of that. Ernie Graham had 44, which is still a Cole Fieldhouse or University of Maryland single game record. And it was just a little different from the DeMatha St. John's games to the Maryland 124 to 110.
I got to get you out of here, but we know why Maryland had to do it, go to the Big Ten, because of the money. But it has to break your heart for Maryland not to be in the ACC.
It
I
does.
mean, the ACC for basketball is it. You grow up in this area. How can you not like it?
Exactly. And it was, you know, the Carolinas and the Dukes and the UVAs. And it's hard to watch them and not see Maryland play them, and then to play Purdue and Michigan State. They're all good teams for sure, but it just wasn't like that in Hyattsville back in the day, or College Park.
All right, I got more questions, but we've run out of time. Dutch, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. To your heart in the second half.
Neil.
Next
Thank you.
interview, we'll talk about your children.
Okay.
All right?
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Dutch.
All right, bud.